Alright, I'm doing a leak test on my rain gutter here. This is the first rain gutter I've ever done. I'm standing out here with the hose. I can't wait for it to rain in Arizona because it never does. So this is how I'm leak testing my rain gutter. So if you've been watching my other videos, you've seen that I built this handicap ramp. Okay. Now you see that the problem is it's right under the roof line. So to keep all the water from dripping off and ruining the handicap ramp, we did a rain gutter. Okay. Now we did the ramp out of pressure treated lumber, so it's going to last longer than if it was non-pressure treated lumber, but might as well put a rain gutter up. Okay, so you could see my first leak right there. If you could see over by the chimney, it's in that corner right there. I think I need to get, I do have an end cap on there on that corner, but I need to get up there and I need to put some sealant in that end cap and look at that and see why that's leaking. Okay, but what we're looking at is we're going to look at the seams. You can't tell from here, but this is not a seamless rain gutter. We just went to Ace Hardware and got it right here in town, and they come in 10-foot pieces, and so I just put them together and I riveted them and I put the silicone. And then what we did is over there for the downspout, we'll walk over there in a minute, we did a yard drain over there. So I got to get this rain gutter nice and full, and then we'll go over and we'll see how the yard drain's doing. And the wind's coming back in my face, and so pardon the droplets of water on the camera. Alright, so I think we have enough water on here. So I'm going to shut this off. And now let's go look under the actual gutter and see if I have any leaks besides right here. So you could hear it up there. And I'm walking along. This is my first seam. Right here you see where the rivets are. I'll put those rivets in. And that one is not leaking, okay? So I do have some drops on the rain gutter itself, but that's just from the wind from where the hose was blowing it. So my next seam is right here. I put the rivets in, I put the silicone on, and I also put a bunch of silicone on the inside. The silicone on the outside is just mainly for looks. That one's not leaking. Let's go down here. And this one right here is not leaking either. So my seams are good there. Let's go look at my downspout. You can hear the water, can't you? I don't see any leaks in the downspout. And it's all coming down here. Right here into my, see that? You see the water coming down there? And I do have, look, I have a leak right here. It's just, I think it's from where that screw went in. I think that's what's happening. I have another one up there. It's where those screws went in. So what I need to do is I need to get around there and I need to put some silicone around those screws. I don't know if that's a big deal though, honestly. It's like just a few little raindrops. But maybe next time I do a rain gutter, maybe I'll get the screws that have the rubber head on them. Okay, because inside that rain gutter, the water's just spinning around like a little tornado. So I think that's why it's coming out here. I was never expecting that it would come out there, but it looks like it does. Okay, so then what I should have done before I put this step on is I should have put all the plumbing over there into the concrete, but that's okay. I didn't do it. I just did it like this. Okay, so we got the little clean out right there, and then the line goes like this, and it daylights out. They call it daylighting because it means the water runs to daylight. So if you can see right down in there, let's see if can you see that? I don't know if you can see what I'm looking at, but that's the end of my pipe. And I have a little inside drain on that so the animals and crap can't get in there. And then it's just going to drain out onto the lawn like this and drain down the hill. So if you could see how far away from the house I got the water, then that was my goal, because if I would have just let it splash out there where the downspout is, then it would have gone right down into that window and right along the foundation. So that's why I wanted to get the water away. And so I think my little rain gutter is successful. The only thing about this, and I didn't know this until I started putting it on, but let's go talk about the slope. And you can see when I get up here, there's a visible slope on the rain gutter, okay? Look over by the chimney where I got the rain gutter up as high as possible. And then over here on this corner, I pretty much got it as low as possible. I might have been able to gone another inch on this end, but I thought that was plenty. Well, what I didn't know is the house isn't level. So I do have a very minimal slope on that rain gutter. Because the house is, it's leaning the opposite way. When I say house, I just mean the fascia line. It's leaning the opposite way, and so I got a really minimum slope on there, okay? So let me see if I can explain that. So this would be level, okay? The fascia in the house is leaning that way, okay? Now when I put my rain gutter, I thought it's leaning that way enough, but in all actuality, with the house being unlevel, my rain gutter is more like this, with not a lot of slope on it, okay? So I guess the moral of the story is check your fascia line. Now how I did that, how I found that out, is I waited till it was nighttime, and then I shined my laser level across there and I measured up, and that's how I figured that from there to right there should have been the same measurement off the laser line, but it wasn't. There was an inch difference, okay? It's not a huge deal, but if I would have known that, then I would have tried to squeeze another inch out of this slope, just so the water wouldn't sit up in my rain gutter, because it does puddle up there a little bit where those silicone joints are. See that? I had enough room right there. Maybe I could come down another inch. But if you hear that, you can hear that water's still draining, and we haven't been spraying for like 5 minutes, so the water's draining pretty slow off there. But anyway, lessons learned. The nice thing is that there's no drips on this deck. I mean, there's little, you know, when I shot the water out of the hose, the wind kind of blew on, but right now, like, there's actively no drips on this ramp. So the rain gutter was pretty easy, and it was my first one. Good practice for when I do the rain gutters on my personal house. The only thing I didn't really know, and I'll tell you, is when you go to put your downspouts together, I followed the water where it flows downhill, so it's not leaking on those joints. I don't need to put silicone on there, but the only thing I did is I had a hard time getting them together, so it finally dawned on me, get your crimpers out and crimp those and then shove them in. So if you're putting the downspouts together and you can't get it in, just get your crimpers out and start crimping those until they go in. So that was my only little secret. Maybe you already knew that, maybe you didn't, but anyway, that's the rain gutter video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the subscribers. See you on the next one.